Hello and welcome to BeamNG.drive. Today, 5 more vehicles will run on my track. The first is the Ibishukovet MR Turbo configuration, which reminds of a Renault 5 Turbo. Pretty good vehicle in my opinion. It is also pretty fast, so I have to be careful because it's easy to snap on acceleration, especially. Now, 50 kilometers per hour is the speed I'm aiming for before the bump, because I've noticed that for most all vehicles 50 kilometers per hour is the ideal speed before the corkscrew. So now, okay, that side impact damaged the oil pan. I don't know how. I also almost lost it, which is not ideal. But I managed to save it, so now I was way early on the brakes. Now be careful on the climb because it can spin. Now the ribbons shouldn't be a problem, in fact they are not. Now here braking, oh, too fast, okay, doesn't seem to have received deadly damage. Now this, whoa, I was on the limit of the grip. That wasn't the best line. Oh, this vehicle is more difficult than expected. Understeer, please. Okay. Jump. Too fast. Definitely too fast, and I did a lot of steering damage. That was not good. But at least it's towards the right, so at least on the last corner it should be helpful. Now some handbrake to help me. That wasn't the smoothest, but was pretty good. Okay, the last bump. And with some understeer and airtime. Oh, okay, that was epic. The second vehicle is the Hirochi ESBR 300, an electric configuration for the SBR. I'm expecting this to be faster on average than other vehicles. Also a lot of braking is expected. So I'm not sure about the time in the end, but now let's focus on what I have in front of me, which is the corkscrew. I have to be slow because this has a lot of stiff suspensions and can be easily bent. And also with this power it's an undrivable vehicle after that. Now the ABS didn't cause trouble on the cylinders, which is nice of him. And now look at the top speed, 170. Okay, brake, ABS, now please help. Thank you very much. That was almost on point for me. Now, I'm not sure if this is all-wheel drive or not. Let's be careful while climbing, and also this was way too fast. Okay, I don't seem to have steering damage. No. Okay, this section is pretty difficult with this vehicle. It can lose grip pretty fast, and as you can see, it happened again. I was able to maintain it on the track and recover decently the situation. Now, the understeer, that was way a lot more understeer than expected. The jump, pretty good. Now, here brake because I got already too much airtime. I don't want to risk it. Wow. The descending parts are the most difficult with this vehicle. Okay, now brake. Thank you. It's pretty difficult. I think this is a rear-wheel drive based on the issues it is causing to me. Now, okay, let's go flat out towards the finish line. Ooh, pretty close to the MR Turbo. The third vehicle is the Charrier Vivace S270M. M because for manual, of course, because this configuration is available also with DCT. I chose the manual because why not? This vehicle, I thought it was faster when I chose it, but at least the handling seems fine. Hopefully it will make up the time lost for the speed. Also, this vehicle seems to have some unbalancing with the braking and the ABS, because I wouldn't trust the ABS in an emergency braking. sometimes it seems like it delays the brake a lot more. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, the top speed of almost 160. Okay, ABS, please. That was pretty smooth, actually. Thank you. Also, the climb, not much wheel spinning. Perfect. Now the ribbons, no issues. Now here, I don't want airtime because it has somewhat fragile steering, so it's easy to damage the steering, and I don't want that. Okay, now this section, the anti-gravity section. Okay, pretty good. Ooh, that was very tight on the corner. Now the understeer following the zigzag. Okay, I have to brake a bit because I was a bit understeering. Oh, okay. It got upset a lot by the bump. That's a first. Okay, too much airtime, but the landing was straight on. Perfect. Now here, let's see the understeering and the ABS. That was decent. That was decent, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting worse. Now for the last corner with the small bump. Okay, perfect. And now flat out towards the finish line. That was a pretty good lap. The fourth vehicle is the ETK K1 2.7 Renspect. I think this is the fastest configuration of this mod. And overall I think this vehicle is way better than the Vivas, the S270 that I just drove. At least on the brakes, because this doesn't have that ABS, that laggy ABS, so it's way more predictable when you want it to brake. You can lock the brakes up, that's not good, but it's way easier to do cornering braking because it's way more predictable. Also in this section over here, it doesn't have those much issues that the Vivas had. That was pretty fast, I have to say myself, pretty good. And also the top speed is pretty comparable. Look at this, almost 160 km/h as well as the Vivas. The climb can be tricky because if the gears are not perfect you have some wheel spin, but not too much. Now the ribbons that had caused some issues with this vehicle are okay. Now here I don't want airtime because the suspensions are sporty, so pretty stiff. And also this vehicle likes to bounce a lot on the landing, and now here in the no gravity section I was a bit too hard on the brakes as well. Not ideal, but look at the speed I'm carrying over here on the understeer corner. Now the bump, okay, the jump, don't upset the vehicle, okay, not ideal, but pretty recoverable. Not much time lost there. It seems like I have some sort of suspension damage, probably just small collapsing. Okay, now here it wasn't the best. Now here, well, don't oversteer too much, please. Keep the rear in line. Now in the last corner exit and towards the finish line. Ooh, that's a pretty good time. The last vehicle of this surprising episode is the Ibishu Miramar street-tuned configuration. Now this vehicle is probably the worst of the 5 of this episode, not because of the power, but because of the handling. It is incredibly snappy. It likes to snap when you less expect it. That's, I think, to count when driving this vehicle, especially on the corner exits. It does a lot of power, such tiny wheels, and yeah, it's not very controllable if you are not careful enough, because it is pretty fast, but too much power, such small wheels, probably a light vehicle, so because you can see the top speed of 150 km/h, which is pretty good. And now I am understeering. Ooh, okay, that I didn't have wheel spin on the exit of the climb, which is perfect. Nice. Now brake, because the Miramar suspensions are pretty tough. Not on this configuration though, because this is a street-tuned vehicle, the suspensions are low and stiff. Now towards the no gravity, here it can have a lot of oversteer, and as you can see there was the oversteer. Now the understeering corner before the bump, better brake than fall off. Okay, the bump easy. The jump destroyed the oil pan, and I think the front right suspension seems like it collapsed a bit, which is not ideal, but at least I'm towards the end of the lap. Now, the brakes not on point, but decent enough. Now here, the tightest corner of the track towards the last one. Engine oil is gone already, and towards the exit. Oh! That was... it almost ruined it. And now to the leaderboard, because I have pretty exciting news. This was an incredibly fast episode. All the vehicles were incredibly fast, and I was expecting to challenge the top positions. And in fact, we have a new 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th place. The 3rd is the K1 2.7 Respect with 1 minute 56 and 997. So now we have the podium all German. Nice. And then in 4th there is the Covet MR Turbo with 1 minute 59 and 874. Incredibly fast time as well. Followed by the ESBR 300 with 2 minute 0 and 393. Followed by the Vivas S270 with 2 minute 1 second and 342. This is incredible. I have no words. These are incredible results. And then in 8th place there is the Miramar Street Tuned with a pretty respectable time of 2 minutes 3 seconds and 463. As you saw, the Miramar wasn't the best, but it's still pretty solid performance because it still landed 8th position. So this was the leaderboard for this episode. Impressive, incredibly impressive performance from all these vehicles, and by me as well, because I managed to drive them decently enough. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.